Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new, please go ahead subscribe. Subscription to my channel is free. It costs you nothing. I have many people commented and provided positive feedback how much money I have saved them. So today we're going to look at the two cars, two number one sellers in US, I guess. Toyota Camry, a gas vehicle or gas car. I'm not talking about trucks. I'm not talking about SUVs or crossovers or whatever. I'm talking about cars. And Tesla. Tesla is number one selling in terms of electric cars or battery powered or basically whatever you want to call it. So what is maintenance free? I will cover why there is this terminology maintenance free. What does it mean maintenance free when it comes to vehicles? Well, there is things that are maintenance free and there are things that are not maintenance free. So there's a Tesla. We're going to look at that Model 3 since it's comparable in price. It's still more than Camry probably, or maybe not. If you look at a fully loaded Camry and Tesla, they probably Model 3 in about the same price range, plus or minus a little bit. So first we're going to look at the used parts. How much are the used parts for those vehicles and why are they selling those used parts? If the vehicles are maintenance free, look at this Toyota Camry engine. I used the engine. How much it cost? $1,400. And this is for the 2020 or 2021 or 2019 car. Is it cheap? Well, it's not cheap, but if you compare to $10,000 motor, as you can see, it's 18, 19, or 20,000 motor, this is cheap. But for an average person, this is still expensive. Not everyone can afford or have those kind of money to able to go out and replace an engine. So what do majority of people do that know about maintenance? Well, they maintain those engines, they change the fluids, and they don't have to replace those engines. Sometimes things go in the wrong directions, and that's why places like eBay sell used engines. They're not cheap, but they're available. And right now, with the shortage of everything, some of those stuff for the engines components is hard to find. So this is how much is the transmission for the Camry cost. So we're talking about what, 1,600 plus 68, 21, 22, 2,300 bucks. We're talking about combined engine and used transmission for Toyota Camry. So we're talking about 21, 2,200 plus maybe shipping. So let's say somewhere up there. So that's the cost of combined two engines in case they fail and you need to replace them. However, let's take a look at Toyota Camry maintenance. What does the factory recommends when it comes to oil changes? Factory says, if you see it on the screen, replace engine and oil filter every 10K. This is what the factory recommends. So we're going to look at what factory recommends and what people do to get the best life out of this vehicle. That's pretty much it. Engine oil, brake pads, wiper blades, tires, cabin filter, engine filter. So those things are being replaced as needed, 10,000, 20,000. It's, if it says replace cabin air filter every 10,000. Is it good? Yes. Filter goes bad. When I say goes bad, it gets clogged up with the dirt. Even if you don't park under the trees. I have noticed I don't have trees. I don't park, on my driveway. But it still gets clogged up with the bugs, and from the dirt, you'll be amazed how much dirt the cabin air filter traps. So when it comes to transmission, Toyota or any other manufacturers today, they say transmission is basically maintenance free. It has a lifetime fluid. This is what they say. You know what I mean? This is, we look at what does the owner's manual says. So now let's take a look at Tesla. Or actually not even a Tesla. Battery, forgot to mention. Yes, this is actually for Tesla, but Camry has a battery. Yes, a gas vehicle has a battery, and it's being replaced. The battery's been replaced about every 3 to 5 years, depending on the maintenance. If you add special fluid and you keep the cells covered with distilled water, you can get more than 3 years. So from 3 to not even 5. I seen it 9 years actually, depending on the battery brand. You can get even 9 years out of battery. Some you get more, others less. So Tesla, when it comes to Tesla, this is the used engine or the motor on a Tesla. Yes, it's expensive, almost $5,000 versus Camry, $1,400. That's a very expensive used motor. Why is it so expensive? Well, because they fail, they break down. How many people can afford a 5,000 motor without labor? You comment down in the section. Let me know how many people can afford 5,000. So that's what it is. You know what I mean? That's how expensive use. Why it's so expensive? Because there is no aftermarket alternative. When it comes to electric cars, specifically to Tesla, I'm not sure if others, electric motors, their gearboxes is all patent protected. Aftermarket world does not allow to copy and reproduce. So when this motor fails, you have two options. You go either take it to the dealer and dealer will replace it for you. They will not sell you parts for your Tesla. That's one of those things that Tesla has able to make money off by offering parts and service at once. You cannot buy parts if you wanted to. However, this is where the used market comes in. See what I'm showing you? What is that right there? That's a filter. Why there is a filter? Well, that's a sign that it's not maintenance free. And I will explain to you what makes the equipment maintenance free and not maintenance free. So there's a cooler. So there is a coolant. So the Tesla is very complex, even though it's electric, but it's a very complex piece of machinery that maybe a vehicle, very complex. It might not have a gas engine or diesel engine, but it has a lot of electronics because electric motor generates a lot of heat. And it doesn't matter what you drive, gas, electric, propane powered or natural gas or hydrogen, whatever the source of energy to propel the vehicle or to drive the motor, it generates the heat. That heat has to be controlled. Otherwise, it will overheat and will basically stop working. So anything that has moving parts, up and down, sliding or rotating, it requires a lubrication. Either gear oil or engine oil or transmission fluid or grease, it requires some type of lubricant, because without lubricant, everything stops or becomes very painful. For example, knees that we bend on our legs, knees, when there's not enough lubricity up there with age sometimes, what happens? Pain. So here is the Tesla maintenance from Tesla recommendation, from Tesla owner's manual. So what does the Tesla has? It's very interesting. It recommends replacing cabin filter every 2 years. So even Tesla says, well, it's interesting, on 3 and Y it says replacing cabin filter every 2 years. On S and X, replace every 3 years. Why is it? I do not know. I do not know what's the difference. Is it bigger? I do not know why there is such a difference. And maybe we'll have some Tesla owners that can comment who had maybe X and X, maybe 3 and Y, and they know, you know what I mean? I don't know. So, but as you can see, even Tesla requires maintenance. High efficiency particulate HEPA filter. So something that Tesla requires to replace every 3 years. So apparently there is like 2 filters, and then there's a tire rotation, balance, wheel alignment. So all of this stuff is maintenance. So as you can see, the Tesla is not maintenance free. You still have to do it. It just, if it's moving or sliding, it has parts that needs to be lubricated or the fluids changed. Brake fluid. Tesla even says you're supposed to change the brake fluid every 2 years. Some owner manual says like every year or every 2 years, every 3 years, depending on the car. So that's something, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter, gas or something else. Air conditioning service. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Some kind of AC bag. Tesla has it. You know how expensive the service to do this? You gotta extract the gas from the AC system, to replace this bag. It's not just spin-on filter or anything. It's very interesting. I do not know the purpose of this bag, and if you do, drop me a comment so we all can learn and benefit. Because my cars don't have it, don't have this bag. This I see is special bag. I have noticed some other brands have it, and so it's there. It's one of the maintenance items too that you have to replace. That's what's interesting, and I'm not sure. Maybe the size I do not know again why Tesla says for 3 it's 6 years, and for other models it's like 4 and 3 years intervals. Not sure why. What's such a big difference? You know what I mean? I thought they use interchangeable parts, or maybe because Tesla doesn't wanna make the recommendation because they rather for the equipment to fail, and then you bring it in and they make more money. I do not know. It's a good question. And maybe Tesla Tech can comment here too. You know what I mean? That would be nice to hear from someone who works for Tesla that repairs those cars daily, because there is dealership. Actually, there's one in my area, and they always look for hybrid specialists because I guess they're more knowledgeable about the electrical portion that kind of helps. Look at this. Tesla recommends cleaning and lubricating all brake calipers every year or 12,000 miles for cars in cold weather regions. So another maintenance item. You have to lubricate. Even though you don't use it, it's interesting, you know what I mean? The brake's not being used much, but again, Tesla has massive brake calipers, massive rotors, very big rotors. It's like, why? If you're using regenerative engine power to slow car down. So there is a reason why it's so big. However, let's continue. So Tesla motor, it's about 5,000. So it's double what Toyota motor with transmission cost. And this is only for the Model 3. You know how expensive for the others? Look at the filters. There is actual filters for Tesla. Yes, look at this. Isn't that amazing? There's a filters. Even Tesla has oil in their engine that is being cooled, in their gearbox that needs to be changed. So Tesla is not maintenance free. If it requires to have filters and requires to have everything else, it doesn't say how often those filters are supposed to be changed. Maybe when you sign the contract and you bring it in for your yearly or 6 months service, maybe that's when they replace them. I do not know. So there is another thing. There is a high voltage battery. So Tesla has 2 batteries. A regular battery. Look how expensive a used battery for Tesla. $355. This is a used battery. This is not even brand new battery. Read this description condition. It says used. A used battery. I don't know why it's so expensive. You can buy for half the price, or even less if you go like to Walmart. Well, it used to be. I'm not sure if it's still the case. For less than $100, you can buy or around $100, you can buy a brand new battery for a car. Why is this used battery in such demand that someone's selling? You know what I mean? I don't know. Either there is a shortage, or brand new battery just costs so much money that people sell used ones so they can, well, I guess they do fail then. Nothing lasts forever. So Tesla has 2 batteries. The battery pack, and look at this. Model X battery module with a motor. How expensive. I used $34,000. That's expensive. I can't even imagine how much dealer will charge for the same parts, same package. Probably like $50,000-$60,000. That's very expensive. Very often owners say, man, the diesel engines are very expensive. They are expensive, but this is even more expensive than the diesel engines. This is prices. This is probably like a performance diesel engines with 1,000 horsepower will cost you $34,000. Maybe not even that. I don't know. Never had. Look at the battery pack for Model S. A battery pack. So yes, Tesla, like I said, Tesla has 2 batteries. A regular car battery, like 12 volt, like every car has. Tesla has, and then has a battery pack. What provides the energy to drive electric motor. Instead of a gas tank, it has a battery pack. Look how expensive for Model S. Used. We're not talking about brand new. Model X, S24, X16. Again, look at this. 17,000. Very expensive. Very expensive battery packs. Why are they so expensive? Because they fail. Because there is a demand. Look at the Tesla Model 3. A 10 grand for the used battery pack. 10 grand. Why? Because they fail. Because they don't last. And you cannot buy from a dealer unless you bring the car and they do the service. All of this stuff is very expensive. And it goes bad and it fails. And it's not maintenance free. Because the owner's manual, this is the owner's manual, it doesn't say. Look at this. When left idle and unplugged, your vehicle periodically uses energy from the battery for system tests and recharging low voltage battery when necessary. Interesting. So your 12-volt battery always being charged and Tesla running on its own whenever you want it or you don't want it. It's still running, it's still checking for everything. If it's cold outside, it will keep the battery warmed up so they don't fail completely on you. So you will keep the, and there is a statement very interesting. There is no advantage for waiting until the battery level is low before charging it. If you follow discharge, yeah, so if you discharge completely, it can be damaged. May become damaged. So discharging an electric battery on electric vehicle is not a good thing. Well, just like driving a car and always driving until it's all the gas is gone, you know what I mean? It's not good for the pump either, because now you pump getting, especially in the summertime, and if it's a diesel vehicle running out of the fuel, is every diesel owner know that that's not a good thing to have it. It's extremely bad actually. So same thing with electric cars. Discharging it completely to zero, not good for the battery, not good for the pocket either. So what does the maintenance free means? Or what is maintenance? So here is a few examples that I'm going to give you guys when it comes to maintenance free. Wheel bearings on cars and some pickup trucks, maintenance free. Maintenance free means you cannot add or remove the fluid or extract the fluid or grease. It means maintenance free. When you can add something like a battery, fluid, distilled water, or you can extract, there is a plugs, it means it's not maintenance free. That means you can add and you can extract. When you have a plug on a transmission that you can add the fluid, it's not maintenance free. Maintenance free when if there is a port or a plug with a hole that you can unscrew, it means it's designed to be maintained. It's designed for the fluid to be extracted, replaced, or added. If the plug is welded, they mean they added the fluid. A good example where it's not really truly maintenance-free refrigerators. They run them until it fails, and then you just don't go and cut that motor up and start replacing things. You replace the whole unit because it's truly maintenance-free. Here's another good example. U-joints. Some cars have greasable U-joints, some don't have greasable U-joints. One is maintenance-free, non-greasable. Greasable is with the grease fittings that you maintain. Ball joints, same thing. U-joints. There is a ball joints with the grease fittings that you grease. These are not maintenance-free. You have to maintain them. You have to add, keep pushing the grease. And there is a ball joints from the factory most of the time that don't have grease fittings. These are called maintenance-free. They're truly maintenance-free because you cannot add grease. You cannot replace grease unless you take it completely apart. Same with the bearings. And I want to thank you for watching it. And don't forget to share this video with others.